Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to our Ninja Warrior podcast. Tonight, we are finally covering the Women's Championship along with the first half of AW15's premiere episode.
Yep, that's today's episode. I don't know what you were expecting, but yeah.
Just to note, the reason why we're only covering the first half of the new 15's first episode is mostly because it would be difficult to split it any other way because it is just two episodes combined into one. So we thought that'd be the best way to split it. And that way, when episode 3 eventually airs, which is tomorrow, so you guys have it's probably way past aired at this point. Like, by the time you guys have seen this. But it just makes it a little more structured for us.
Yeah, so now we can cover the second half, episode 1, and then episode 2 as well. So, yeah. Also, you said episode 3.
I'm probably gonna do that like 3 times because that's how Ninja Wiki separates it.
Yeah, again, that's kind of how it works. We could talk about when we get to AW15, but our first order of business is the Women's Championship for AW14. Something they went radio silent on, which I am not a fan of, personally.
Yeah, I would really appreciate it for, like, outside of the people competing on the show that we actually knew, like, hey, you know, there is more than just Ninja, right? And I guess we gotta talk about this. What the fuck is the All-Star special?
Yeah, that's kind of disappointing that, like, the very lackluster All-Star special we got last year is going to be our last one. That really does suck. I love those things.
Yeah, it's not like there was no high-flying competition last year. There was no Super Saiyan 1. There was so many missing things last year. And here, there's just nothing whatsoever. Yeah, it is really disappointing. On the topic of the Women's Championship, this one was structured very differently. Instead of taking place over a city finals course, instead took place in Vegas. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think it's actually a pretty good idea. I think it just allows us to see, like, prehistory and allows women who may not always get to Vegas at least get a shot on stage 1. And it does show us that, hey, women can handle it.
Yeah, for sure. And it doesn't seem like they nerfed anything on stage 1 at least, which is really good. Like, it's the actual course. Yeah, which makes it quite clear, you know, they're trying to make it equal for both genders, and I can definitely appreciate that. At least in this case, because for some reason they decided, let's lower the grade level for the city finals version of these we've got the last 2 years, so honestly, I'm glad they changed it in that way. Because of that, of course, the course for stage 1 is exactly the same. And yeah, I guess we can just get right into this. It was with the first one of the night, who was
Jordan Carr, and this is kind of an interesting person to start off with.
I think it makes the most sense, though, but yeah, this is interesting. And having her in the championship instead of, like, Barclay or something.
I mean, I think Barclay should have been, you know, she's like the one woman I'm like, where the frick is she?
Yeah, she's just not in here for some reason, but anyway, Jordan Carr's segment, it was mostly just propping her up. It did nothing but give us a prologue of Carr's very, you know, just Carr's very small season in joy and her kind of history making, being the youngest woman to hit a buzzer. That's really about it for that segment. The thing I didn't know about Flip in the segment is that he had a bandage on his hand.
Yeah, if you have to know, well, something about it.
Yes, but Carl herself, she did decent, I guess. She went out on a giant roller coaster, but she had a one-handed save on the second bar, and because the ball was off balance, she was not able to make the second jump, so she fell. Honestly, a little disappointing, but I don't think I was expecting anything more, I guess.
Yeah, that was the giant roller. I believe it was like its only victim.
I think it's got one other person, but yeah, that's about it. After that, we had Megan Woe, the axe-throwing ninja, who they talked about her picking up a new hobby, disc golf. I don't think I even know what that is.
It's frisbee throwing.
Okay, aside from that.
I got nothing.
Exactly! That's your point!
Look, it's stupid. It's just as stupid as the fucking action. Like, they don't shut up about it. And now they just have a new thing to talk about.
Yeah, at least, like, it does show them having fun doing a little bit of competition with it, so I guess it's fine. Megan Will had a pretty good one, making all the way to the fly hooks, where she ended up missing the jump to the last way, to the, second hook. And, yeah, did she move on?
Yeah, she did. Pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it's about all my notes on that. After her, we had Casey Rothschild in a fast-forward segment. Admittedly enough, her one had almost nothing notable about it, so I get it. Plus, like, who else are they forced to fast-forward?
In this case, yeah, I get it. Casey had a pretty deep one, making all the way to tetherball where she got knocked down. And after that, we had one of the bigger highlights of the night. Tiana Webberly's won on stage 1.
Yeah, Tiana Webberly had a very boring segment about her mom and grandmother struggling through injuries and a kidney transplant. No one cares about that.
Yeah, unfortunately. It sounds really offensive and mean to say, like, we don't care about mothers and stuff, but, like, no, what? It really doesn't work. It really doesn't. It feels out of nowhere. Yeah.
Most stories do, but yeah, just pointing it out. Tiana had a really good one. On the jumping spider, she almost fell, but she was able to save it. I don't really know how. She just almost overshot it, but she was still able to stick it. Yeah, she ended up making it all the way to the high road, where she was the only woman to specifically try for it, and she ended up going there too late, just barely missing the wing, but definitely a really good attempt. Honestly, I really want to see Tiana finish stage 1 at this point.
It would be really nice to see. I would love it, honestly. But after that, we had the commercial break, and then Maddie Howard take on stage 1, a fast-forward segment. Maddie had a pretty good one, too, making it all the way to Jumping Spider, where she also overshot her landing as well, actually falling there.
Yeah, and similar to that, we also have Sandy Zimmerman, who got a very mini segment about her career, but then fell in almost the exact same way as Maddie Howard, as she overshot the Jumping Spider, and that was that, honestly.
Yeah, nothing really too notable about the ones. I think it's just like they don't know how to do segments right.
I mean, they've never really known how to do segments right.
I know, it's just like the point. Do I need to point that out? I don't think I do, but still, like, it's just something that I feel like I need to.
Yeah, but anyway, after them we had Abby Herman, and oh my goodness, this was a pretty interesting one, being the first woman to complete stage 1.
Yeah, I guess to bring up now, she also had a very small segment about her brothers, and this was actually the first somewhat entertaining segment they had. It was something, it was at least ninja related, it's fine.
Yeah, again, most segments don't really do it for anyone, but this is fine, I guess, at least according to you.
Is my opinion like the only valid one here? Like, am I the only one being positive?
I think you're the only one just being vocal about being positive.
Okay, sure, why not? We'll go with that. But anyway, yeah, as mentioned, she had a really good one, making it all the way to the buzzer, good. Making it all the way to the end of the course, I guess. Making it all the way to the end of the course.
Another thing that we forgot to mention is that she also had a one-handed save on the wing surface.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Yep, anyway, after that we had Abby Clark in a fast-forward segment, as she did decently well as well, making it all the way to, the fly hooks, where she ended up missing her, when she ended up timing out, but she did end up moving on to stage 2 as well, so pretty good. After that, we had Katie Bone, who had another long, overdrawn segment about fucking type 1 diabetes.
Yeah, we already had the whole stick about this last season. We don't need a reminder. And it was the only thing they wanted to talk about last season, too, so... I hate it when, like... It feels like the only reason why a woman gets spotlight is because, like... Or just, I can't compare it in general, I guess. Like, just because they have a disease or something tragic happened to them, they have trauma, something like that. That is the only reason why they get spotlight. And it's the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah, it really shouldn't be this way. The show really loves to provide and focus on the people with the inspirational stories. And inspirational are in big quotation marks here as well.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. It just, it really frustrates me because there are plenty of better ninjas than her that you can give focus to. But that's a little bit just because she actually made it all the way to fly hooks and almost completed stage 1.
Yeah, she ended up missing the second hook, but still a phenomenal one. I really hate the segment they gave her, but as a competitor, she's still really well.
Yeah, this is no disrespect to the. This is more just like at the editors editing her segment. Like, dude, like I don't think I hear enough of them mentioning it. Like, I guess that's important. But like, don't make it such a big thing. Like, it's the only thing you can note about this competitor, and it kind of sucks.
Thankfully, like, because then what happens later tonight, I think, like, maybe they'll have something else to talk about when she comes on next year.
Oh, I hope, man. I hope.
Also, love how I say next year like it's in a year now.
No, but season 15, that is a good question, though. I do wonder how it's going to go. If they're actually going to be like, hey, she has type 1 diabetes again.
Is that going to work for a third time?
I'm going to say yes, but I'm still, like, on the fence about it, too. I don't want it to work for a third time, obviously.
Yeah, but anyway, after Katie Bone, we had Alyssa Beard in a fast-forward segment. This one, definitely one of more of the disappointing ones.
Yeah, she ended up making it to the whole wall where she was not able to make it up, similar to season 11. And yeah, that's when she timed out. And it was just as disappointing as the next runner, Jessie Graff.
Yeah, Graff had probably the most entertaining segment of the night, though. Making me really jealous because, like, I moved recently in this new house. Oh, well.
Can you go in a house? It's not a house, dude.
My last place was not a house. Both of these, well, okay. The last place was a two-family apartment. This one's like 3-family apartment, but still, that's the point I'm trying to make here. Like, this place, I can't really swing and do my things in here. There's like one place, the kitchen, where there's like just 2 counters I can prop myself up on. I can do that, but there's not too many places I can actually swing without like breaking a door frame or something. And there's not even a place for like my portable pull-up bar that I got a couple months back. Like, there wasn't even a place for it. It just sits in my room, and I am so mad about it. In this segment of Jessie Graff's new treehouse makes me so jealous because I don't have my places to swing anymore. I can't swing on door frames. I can't balance on my bed anymore. Well, I probably could, but so like the things that I could do in the old house, I cannot do here, and that frustrates me to all heck. And this segment makes it all the more apparent.
I would go with that. Graff, like we said before, one of the more disappointing ones, just like Alyssa Beard, as she overshot it on the jumping spider, being knocked out there.
Yeah, kind of surprising. Graff also had some trouble on throwing circus, so she definitely would have been chasing the clock anyway, but still, it really does suck that that's how early she went out.
Yeah, I really wish like she can get back to her prime, because like, you know, it was in season 9 when she went on the flying course. She's just done worse and worse, whether it's just doing filming things or just doing badly.
Yeah, it's been really unfortunate. I really do hope that next season, if she competes, she's able to make it back to Vegas. And that's really, get deep one into stage 1 instead of just being really disappointing.
Yeah, it would be nice to see. But anyway, after that, we had Isabella Wakeham, who had a segment about just her history and wanting to be on the show for a while and her experience. But she had a really good one.
Yeah, she definitely had the gutsiest one, being the closest out of every, not having too much time going into the final obstacle, and on the coconut, she only had 15 seconds to climb, just barely finishing. Definitely the closest one we've had.
Yeah, really good to see it, especially since Wakeham almost finished the course in season 13, so we knew she could do it, and here she just proved it.
Yep, finally we had Jessie Flex the Black. Unfortunately, the most anticipated one here, as she's the defending champion, but unfortunately, again, there wasn't really too much to note about her one, aside from the fact that, again, she finished the course, as per usual. It really isn't all that notable, which kind of sucks because, again, like, it's a stage 1 buzzer, and that doesn't happen too often for her, but kind of sucks. But yeah, it's so weird to me.
Yeah, but anyway, after that, we got to move on to stage 2, which, unlike stage 1, had one little modification to that course.
Yeah, piston plunge, instead of having 2 of the handholds having just 2 segments for your hands to go off of, all of them are just flat. Which, it's fine, honestly. It's a small mini change, stage 2. And it's not that difficult, stage 2 is. I'm really glad that was the only change they made.
Yeah, and something I noticed as we were watching through, we also made a mistake on the whole stage 1 thing, because they did up the time limit by now 20 seconds. But honestly, still, I think all the ones we saw on stage 1 were pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think that's generally okay, making mini adjustments here and there. Especially since, like, we're gonna see a fully redone Vegas course this year. So, that way, it just feels a little more grand, at least somewhat grander, when women actually get to try stages 1 and 2. Well, it was stage 1. Hopefully it's stage 2 if they make it there. But if they get a chance to try it, it makes it still feel like a thing. Instead of just feeling like this is like prehistory or something like that.
Maybe a little. But anyway, the first one on stage 2 was...
Abby Clark, which this was a pretty good run to start off stage 2.
Yeah, she made all the way to the Hornet's Nest, where she ended up falling, not being able to hang on to the third honeycomb. But I guess I'm really good. I wish I had more to say. Like, God damn it.
Yeah, I think it's the same story with the next one, Isabel Wakeham, who did just as well as Abby Clark, just barely beating her out on the actual, one itself, falling only on the second to last honeycomb, not being able to make the jump. Really a disappointment. I mean, since she did not move on, which was, yeah.
After that, we had Megan Warren as the only fast forward on stage 2, where she was knocked out by the double salmon ladder. The only woman not to be knocked out by at least the Hornet's Nest, which is surprising. After that, we had Addie Herman, who had a really good one as well, making it to the Hornet's Nest too.
Yep, she made a little bit farther than Isabel Wakeham. Falling at the last honeycomb, not being able to catch it. And then we had Flex LeBlack, who was the only ninja to get a segment during stage 2, like an actual segment.
Yeah, she talked about being disappointed about stage 2 during season 13, which I can equip you to. I was pretty disappointed too, feeling on the second obstacle I was betting to go a lot farther. But that did not happen, and she was disappointed, and that's what she expressed here. But then she decided but then on this one, she made all the way to the Hornet's Nest as well.
Yeah, you're seeing a trend here. She made it all the way to the second to last honeycomb, where she ended up falling, making the jump to the last one, just like a lot of other women. But she was able to move on, leading us to our final one, and definitely the most impressive one of the night, Katie Bone.
Yeah, Katie Bone, she had a gutsy one. Well, on Hammer Drop, she had basically landed it one-handed. I do not understand that, even as a wall climber.
Yeah, I'm rock climber myself, and I don't think I could make what she did. She just got one hand on the grip, and then the other one missed. She couldn't even wrap her legs, but yet she still survived the jump. I don't understand how she did that.
It is a little bit unbelievable. It is a little bit unbelievable, but she was able to do it. And more unbelievable, even when she looked pretty gassed on Honeycomb Havoc or Hornet's Nest. It's such a better obstacle. Why wasn't it called that?
Because it's copyrighted.
But it just feels so right? It feels so much better. Anyway, Katie Bone, she looked gasped on the Hornet's Nest, but found a little gear and was actually able to be the first and only woman to finish it.
Yeah, and not only that, she ended up completing stage 2 as a whole, getting through the falling shelves and hitting the buzzer. Again, being the only woman to do so. Pretty surprising to me, honestly. I mean, I was not expecting a woman to finish, especially since her gas state on the Hornets that made me think she was gonna fall away at that last jump. But still, an amazing one.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And that led us to the final brackets for stage 4, which looks a little bit differently. They aren't wasting up the rope climb, which I think I can understand. I mean, even the male competitors couldn't even do it, so I get it. And it's, they just did an I-beam up it, just like the All-Stars competition event, which is, I guess, is a little disappointing, but given the fact that even the male competitors couldn't really do the rope, I can kind of get it. But, that's how they did it. Honestly, they just did a racing flat, just like they do with the Power Tower. And the first matchup was between
Abby Clark and Addie Herman. This was pretty one-sided.
Yeah, same with the other ways as well. Addie Herman was ahead the entire time out of Abby Clark. And yeah, she ended up finishing the course faster and moved on to the next round. And the second round being Katie Bone and Jessie LeBlack.
Yeah, Jessie had a kind of trouble keeping up with Katie Bone, who made this tower look really easy. I think it's mostly just because she's used to speed climbing, so she knew how to hurry up. And that is exactly what happened, as she made it all the way to as she made it to the top in under 25 seconds, and it was just a really fast run.
Yeah, this expertly geared us up to the final matchup between Katie Bone and Addie Herman. A really, really close race. These two were really neck and neck the whole time. But Katie Bone did start the pole away during the last 30 or so feet, where she ended up winning and becoming the next women's champion.
Yeah, ultimately speaking, from stage 2 onwards, the special was actually really entertaining and actually kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think the special was okay, but it was still entertaining. It was still fun, and it was still good to see some teenagers kick some ass. Oh, really?
Yeah. Is that it? Are we ready to move on? I think so, actually. So, yeah, that is not it for this episode. We are also going to be covering the first half of AW 15's premiere episode, the first 40 or so minutes of that episode. That's going to be covering today as well. So let's get into starting with the initial actual changes going into season 15.
So, yeah, AW 15 that aired a couple of days ago. What do you guys think?
I am in the category of okay. Why? For a lot of the changes here, some of them are justified. Some of them are absolutely, I get it. Some of them are I am completely okay. The Mega Wall. I am completely fine with the whole minute 20 seconds in. One is an emphasis on speed, which is something that qualifiers seem to kind of lose after the power tower was removed from it. And then, there's the wasting, which I'm okay, why in terms of just the way they're formatting it?
Yeah, it's definitely just going to be the episode's name.
No doubt, I told you this before we started recording.
I'm in support of it just because it's so random. You're right. It's nothing's bad about a lot of this, but also just makes you question everything.
I know. You know what? I can see that. Stupidly enough, I can see it. It is the dumbest thing ever. But here we are now. Yeah, so I'm okay with the Mega Wall thing. But then we have the racing. Only the top 11 are guaranteed to move on. And instead, we now have 12th and 13th place end up matching up with each other and going head-to-head in a racing format, which, okay, why? Because my biggest problem with this is just the fact that it doesn't feel right. I honestly just kind of wish it looked like the Power Tower did back in Season 11, how you got a speed pass or something that qualifies you for Vegas. I like it way better than just the last two spots dueling for a spot that would have been way gotten you into the next round of season ago.
Yeah, it is really daunting. I mean, it kind of just feels like changing for the sake of changing, especially since it's season 15. It kind of just feels like they have to make it feel grand.
Maybe a little bit, because even season 10, they didn't do it like this. They just it was a normal season with the Mega Wall added on as the big new thing for that season. And here, it really is where they want to push this racing format, which I'm okay with, but the way they're handling it is just a little weird to me.
Yeah. And then we have the obstacle lineup for part 1 of the episode.
Yeah, as we mentioned before, we are not covering the second set of obstacles along with its competitors. We'll be covering that at next week's episode along with episode 3, as the one time for each episode has also been shortened.
Yeah, each episode is going to be now 40 minutes, which is going to be a little weird. Aside from the first episode, they're chopping the one time in half, which I do wonder how it's going to affect Vegas, but, if they make it work, they make it work.
Yeah, so far, I guess it's been okay. It doesn't mean the format of the show has changed, unfortunately. It doesn't mean they're going to, show less stories so that way they can show more competitors. Nope, it's the same old deal. And we still have plenty of competitors cut from the top 11 who moved on but were not shown at all. And we'll get to those. But let's get into these obstacles for part 1 at least. That being the pole vault is the first obstacle. Definitely, I am definitely okay with this change.
Yeah, I mean, they actually changing up the formula. They never do this stuff nowadays. But they actually changed it really well, and I actually can really appreciate it. Like, good on them. Like, goddamn. I am a clapping. What is this?
They're actually giving worthy applause. Yeah. But, the pole vault's really good. Then we have stupid old roller coaster. Instead of a split decision, we just have a simple domino effect, which I think split decision was, like, overstaying its welcome just a little bit, but I think I was okay with it at the time. Then we got the new obstacle, the getaway, which over stylistic much? Yeah, this is another one of them. I'm just like, okay, why? Why is this obstacle so over the top and stylistic? And we'll get to the fifth obstacle in a bit. But this one, do we really need it to look like a safe? Do we really need to be called like a wobbly, like really, this is too stylistic. We don't need a money bag setup. That could just be a nunchuck. Like, I don't think this gives the obstacle flair. I feel like some people are going to say that like this obstacle wouldn't be unique though, but I don't think. I think the obstacle itself is fine. It's just like it's a little much, and the stylistic. It's like the style feels really over the top to me. Again, it gives me carnival, gives me pretty bad carnival flashbacks here, and it's really annoying because this isn't even just a thing with this obstacle in particular. Unlike season 14, and it's also the thing with the next obstacle, Lasso Launch, which I admit I like a little bit better with the concept and everything, especially with that backward jump you have to do. But I am still very much not okay with the whole deal of making stylisting it so that way the handholds look like cows. That's even more of okay, why? It's really just stupid. Like, I wish I had more to say other than it's just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, the obstacle's just fine, I guess, but, like, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah. But anyway, as I mentioned earlier, you have to finish, I don't think we have mentioned specifically, but we have to finish, if you have to finish the course in under 1:20 in order to get a shot, the mega one single shot, which I'm a little mixed on. At first I was like, why? Why would they do this? And then, like, Crystal, in, like, a private voice call when we were talking about this, was like, but, like, this means that, like, ninjas are guaranteed a shot at it. Whether they fear the warp wall or not, and they are guaranteed a buzzer as well. And actually, like, I can kind of agree with that.
Yeah, after I had to convince you. Like, I got it, and he didn't.
I just thought it was stupid, and then, like, Crystal, like, proved me wrong. Yeah, prove me wrong by a girl. How do you feel about that? What are you fucking Christine, like? No, I don't care. I don't care enough.
That's great.
That's like my minimal rule on this. I mean, to be fair, Zoe has been pushed down to a very minimal position in the sidelines as well. Yeah, I'm just like adding minimal commentary.
It's like you don't even exist. I'm sorry. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm not even pissed. I think it's more of the irony and just joking about it that makes it work so well for me right now. Okay, so the very first one of this really weird night was 16-year-old Emily Gardner, who had a surprisingly long story, or segment, I should say.
Yeah, it was a segment that was somewhat, like, it was okay enough. It was at least ninja related. It was all about her training with her dad, which is fine. You know, it's not the worst segment of the night. You know, so it's just like us criticizing for literally no reason. It's fine. But anyway, she ran all the way to the fifth obstacle, Lasso Launch. Well, that's where she fell, and I believe she moved on, right?
Yeah, she did.
Alright, she moved on. Anyway, after that, we had Desmond Odin, who also got a segment about his efforts to lose weight and how Ninja helped with that, and now he's a special education teacher. This segment was fine. I guess it was fine.
There's not enough to really say about it that's like, it's not bad, it's fine. But he ended up going out on Domino Effect, and then we had a fast forward segment featuring Emily's father, Emily Gardner's father, Witch Gardner, who unfortunately went out on the roller coaster. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, then we had Lucio Batista, just a veteran from EW11 who had a one-handed save on roller coaster, only to fall on the very next episode, Domino Effect as well. We had 3 in a row on that one.
Yeah, really disappointing. Finally, we had Casey Rothschild. Again, another veteran skipped out. She was fast-forwarded twice tonight. It's really funny. She ended up falling owing a lasso launch and was also able to move on, which was pretty good.
Yeah, every woman who got the last launch was able to move on. Pretty good, but still, I noticed they gave her more showtime, but realistically, there's not always, her ones aren't always interesting. I guess at least she got showtime last year, so that's cool.
Yeah, but she did get showtime during the semifinals last year, though it was all about... She did get showtime during the semifinals last year, but it was all about her Quincy Unites thing. Here was mostly just a side thing. They did some stylistic changes with when they were showing her off, but it was okay, definitely for sure. But anyway, after that we had the next shown one, which was
Mazaya Andre, who had a lengthy story, to put it bluntly.
Yeah, he had a story about how he was born prematurely and only weighed 1 pound. It was boring, but fine, I guess. He made it all the way to the 5th obstacle, almost being the first to complete it. But he ended up falling. He did end up moving on as well. The actual first one to complete was Shayla Lewis. And God, was I afraid for this one because it had that bio that's usually used for ninjas that go out early, so that worried me. But thankfully, he finished and had one of the faster times of the night.
Yeah, so amazing to see, thank God. And then after that, we had a little bit of a show off for the pole vault obstacles. We saw three ninjas straight fall on it. One ninja that, for the life of us, we could not identify.
Yeah, no, I just have him as unknown Pride supporter in my notes just because he had Pride on his on the start line. He was showing Pride on there. His shirt said something about Team Andre, something like that. I don't know if that was actually what it said. That's what I could read. So if you guys know who that actually was, you can let us know. But just one of the rest wanted to cover them. Maybe we'll find out in the future. If maybe we'll just pop him in a future episode if I ever am able to identify who he is. But yeah, they just don't identify him. Then we have Scene Sidell Weeks, which is a really good name. He also followed pole vault along with Ewan Condolf. And then we saw the return of a very surprising competitor, Alan Keneally.
Yeah, also fast forwarded, he made the domino effect, where he ended up getting knocked out, but we did see him off later in the one-offs, which still good to see, for sure.
Yep. After that, we had Brian Quetch, the 15-time veteran who had probably the worst segment of the night right here.
Yeah, he had a bread and meals segment where we just talk about how intimidating he was about drowns obstacles. And yeah, he's got a point, but I really hate this because they really drive it down your throat. And it's just please don't do a Brandon Meals, and he does a Brandon Meals by falling.
That's all we could talk about in this segment right here. Yeah, it just brings back those kinds of flashbacks with Brandon Meals isn't here. I do want to know if the Towers of Power are gonna compete this year, I guess. As you bring up the question. But yeah, disappointing one from Quetch, and I hated the segment just because, again, it popped him up for a fail, which I always hate to see. I think everyone hates to see those.
Yeah, it should not be like that. But anyway, after that we had
Najee Richardson in a pretty surprising one, honestly. Yeah, Najee had a segment about his wedding and announcing that this might be his final year in Ninja. And honestly, I think we all saw that coming, even a little bit.
I don't think that's exactly correct, but yeah, even a little bit, because he hasn't done all that well in quite a bit.
Yeah, he hasn't been to Vegas since season 11, even then that was a really lackluster year for him. So honestly, I can see him retiring after this season. Even this one itself was a little bit disappointing. Him only making its lasso launch where he ended up falling, not hitting a buzzer, which I think is a first for Najee.
No, season 11.
Right, yeah. But aside from that, yeah. But still, surprising. Seeing that, he fell that early. And thankfully he still moved on, but still, surprising.
Yeah. After that, we had Ashley Gianni, who ended up going out on roller coaster. Then we had Vodell Benson, who was knocked out by lasso launch, but was also able to move on. And after that, we had Addie Herman, who was also knocked out by lasso launch and was at the top of the women leaderboard.
Yeah, pretty good for her. After that, we had her boyfriend, Noah Munio, who had a story about his dad who was paralyzed from the neck down. How he's still able to walk, and he was playing golf with his son throughout the segment. I think it was okay enough. It wasn't a bore at least.
At least that. But he ended up being the first competitive advantage on the 120, meaning he was the first to try to Mega Wall.
Yep, he ended up missing it, but if the Mega Wall was not 18 and a half feet, I think he would have gotten it, or at least touched the top.
Yeah, we don't know exactly how high he got, but he was real close. So, yeah. Anyway, after that, we had Jeff Snyder in a fast-forward segment. He was knocked out by domino effect. And after that, we had Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, Teach ended up coming back for her, I think, third season. Actually, no, fourth. She went out on Lasso launch and ended up finishing fourth place in women's top 5, so she ended up going off to the races. We'll cover her race in a bit. We also had Kevin Rodriguez, who ended up going out on Lasso launch as well, moving on. And then we had the Beast, James McGrath.
Yeah, he was probably the biggest one of the night that we ended up seeing, aside from maybe Najee's or Jay's, but still really intense one from James, as he was trying for that Mega Wall. He was not able to, he was not fast enough, but still finished the course. And we also know that Alyssa Beard got injured somehow.
No details, just she's injured and she's not competing in the show, which is really unfortunate. And this also goes for another ninja in that women's competition as well. So, pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, I was yet to see a little bit of her in a women's championship, but still, like, she didn't do all that well there. So that's why I was, like, a little bit, like, even more disappointing that we didn't even get to see her shine this season at all.
Yeah, anyway, after that we had another fast forward segment featuring Evan Andrews, who surprisingly enough fell on Lasso launch, unfortunately, but he still moved on. And then we had Luke Dillon, who had the fastest time of the night at 1:18, so he got to try the Mega Wall, however he was not able to finish it. But he still moved on.
I feel like his one probably should have been shown, at least a little bit.
I think I'm okay with a deceased, but I definitely can see you wanting to see his one way more than Noah's.
Maybe a little. I don't know. He's the fastest one, though, which is the only reason why I'm like, okay, sure.
Now, moving on to the races, we had the first matchup being Aaron Keneally and its rookie Ramses Verdez, who ended up getting his actual one cut.
Yeah, we'll go with his result. Yeah, that was just stupid. He really should have been shown. He also went out on domino effect. But if he was going to be in the races, at least give him a fast forward, people.
Yeah, they could have easily just shown these two in the same segment and no one would have cared. But because they didn't show him, I care. Ramses had an interesting segment in the races about being a daredevil, which was honestly pretty cool to see. But again, I just wish they showed him.
Yeah, speaking of the races, let's move on to that. Thoughts on the races?
I hate it because they ignore Ninja versus Ninja when they talk about it.
Yeah, they kept on going on about how this is the first time ninjas are going head-to-head. One, Ninja versus Ninja does exist, guys. Can you stop ignoring it? And two, the Power Tower also exists. Like, you could at least acknowledge that was also head-to-head racing as well.
Yeah. On the weights, I think they for some reason call one-offs. It doesn't really need to be. But anyway, we had a simple striding steps version, which was called Home Run. Then we had Swing Forward, Beehive, and a version of Hopscotch, which was pretty cool. It is also shown that this is supposed to go farther. We saw a Spin Hopper and Slingshot, so I can't wait to see how they're going to expand on it when it comes down to the city finals. If those are the only two obstacles, then fine, but I think it's cool that we're getting a full-on course for this.
Yeah, I kind of wish it worked like the Power Tower did. And maybe in the semifinals it might work that way.
I could see it, but who knows? I would appreciate it, but I think like they might end up doing the same way. But if they're doing it for a safety pass, definitely I can see it. And this kind of means like it's the replacement for the Power Tower, which I think I'm okay with, you know?
It's a little disappointing, but honestly, with the Power Tower having so much of a presence in Season 12, it kind of ran its course. But it's not like it was a bad thing. Like, it's completely okay. And I think these races are actually a better format. I just kind of wish, again, it was not handled like this. It was just standard format with the top two of the night going head-to-head for like a speed pass or something. I would have appreciated that way more than the way they're doing it here. But it was fine.
Yeah, the first race was between, as I mentioned earlier, Al Keneally and Ramses Verdez, which was actually a kind of close race up to hopscotch. Well, Ramses fell, and Alan Keneally also fell, almost having a one-hand to save. But since Ramses got there first, he ended up winning and moving on. Again, another reason why his one should have been shown. After that, we also had a race for the women as well, featuring 4th place finisher Taylor Johnson, and another battle we did not see, Avery Glantz, who automatically makes me jealous again because her womb is literally just a ninja horse.
We're gonna want to understand it again, aren't we?
No, I'm not gonna talk about it again, but just the point. Her one obviously should have been shown. She was knocked out by domino effect. I really do feel like her one should have been shown, especially since she's in the races. In the future, show everyone who's in the races at least at bare minimum, because then these competitors aren't coming out of complete nowhere.
Giving them...
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're trying to say is, like, giving them a small segment does not justify you cutting them. It doesn't. Like, you could just, like, fast-forward them and then give them the segment. Like, Taylor Johnson got that treatment here as she was fast-forwarded.
Yeah, the waste itself was really disappointing as Avery Glantz almost immediately fell on home one, meaning that Taylor Johnson got a very easy win, and she could have finished the whole course, and she did.
Yeah, Taylor went through the entirety of the course regardless of Avery's result, and she ended up completing it, so yeah, she moved on. And that's it for night one.
Yeah, like we said before, this is only the first half of the episode. Next week, or next episode, I should say, I don't know when we're filming it, but next episode, we're going to be talking about the second half of this episode as well as episode 3, as the one time is shorter, so I thought it worked better this way. The last thing I want to talk about is the cut ones.
Yeah, we had a couple cut ones, only 3. Once again, Ramsey's one was cut, but we also had Noah Jones, another teenager who went on lasso launch, and Evan Boningen, who was also knocked out by lasso launch. So, yeah. And of course, we also had, for the women, we had Avery Glantz's one, who was also cut as well.
Yeah, I think this is the first case where a woman got to the top 5 and was not shown.
I'm pretty sure, actually, you're right on that one. It's not the only case. Night 2 also has that as well. But we'll talk about it then. Yeah, I think that's everything.
Yeah, so, any final thoughts you want to go over before we close this out?
Not really. I guess, like, just in general, like, I think we've basically laid out everything we thought, going into night 1 and going into 15 and in the women's competition as well. It kind of doesn't feel like that was covered tonight.
Yeah, because it was like several hours ago at this point, because podcasts take a while to film. Especially since we're watching through 2 episodes. Even if one's not 4 episodes, still it feels like forever.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, we will see you next time for part 2 of the premiere episode of AW15, as well as episode 2 of AW15 as well. And, yeah, that's really about it for this episode of the podcast.
Yeah, it's so good to be back. Thank you guys for being patient with us, for getting us out. And hopefully I don't take too long to edit it. To be fair, I am just starting to edit down the Sonic Unleashed stuff for the Wii, so I can hope I'll be able to get this done quickly.
Yeah, this is on a timer where we want to get this out quickly. Well, that is whenever it's done, so, yeah.
Watch it if you get the chance. I would really appreciate that.
We're just so desperate we would have watched the gaming headband.
At this point, yes, I am really desperate because those episodes are getting really good, and no one decides, hey, can we watch those? I don't care, but like, seriously, take some time, watch Sonic Unleashed. It's a good Let's Play, I think. I don't think it's boring. I think it's entertaining.
Alright, but anyway, we'll see you guys next time for the second half of AW15 Episode 1 and the entirety of AW15 Episode 2. Peace.